Having been around for over 1,000 years and having been played by millions and millions of people, chess really is a global game. But where is it the most popular, and what countries are the best at it? Those are the questions that I'm going to be answering in this video. So I'm going to be focusing on the top 10 chess countries in the world, according to FIDE, the International Chess Federation, which has a list of over 100 nations of players who have played chess internationally. Now, for the sake of this video, the three categories that we're going to be looking at in terms of a chess country are its total number of titled players, which is basically the total number of players who are at a master level or higher, as well as the total number of grandmasters, and then most importantly, the average rating of the country's top 10 players. So before I get into the actual list, I'm going to give an honorable mention to a country that just barely missed out on the top 10, despite having the second highest number of total titled players, Germany, with 1,443 total titled players, 96 of which are grandmasters, but unfortunately, at the very highest level, their top 10 grandmasters are simply not on the caliber of these other countries that I'm about to name. So coming in at number 10, we have Poland with 447 titled players, 45 of whom are grandmasters, and an average rating amongst their top 10 of 26.37, with their top two players being Radoslaw Wojtaszek and Jan Krzysztof Duda, both of whom are super grandmasters, and Duda is actually the 16th highest rated active player in the world at the age of just 22. Moving on to number 9, we have France with 465 total title players, 50 of whom are grandmasters, and an average top 10 rating of 26.38. Now, France only has one super grandmaster, but of course it's MVL, Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, number 5 in the world amongst active players and potentially a world champion candidate. Coming in at number 8 is a bit of a surprise, at least to me, Hungary, with 497 total title players, 58 of whom are grandmasters, and an average rating of their top 10 of 26.44. Now, just like France, Hungary only has one super GM, but it's Richard Rapport, who's ranked number 13 amongst all active players. Coming in at number 7 is Azerbaijan, with 159 total title players, 26 of whom are grandmasters, and an average rating of their top 10 of 26.52. Azerbaijan has two super GMs, Shahryar Mamedyarov and Temur Rajabov, who are ranked number 11 and number 9 in the world, respectively. Coming in at number 6, we have perhaps another surprise, Armenia, who, despite having a population of just around 3 million, has 132 total title players, 44 of whom are grandmasters, and an average rating of their top 10 of 26.52. Although they only have one super grandmaster, it is, of course, Levon Aronian, ranked number 7 in the world, who at one point was actually the number 2 ranked player in the world. Now we're entering the top 5, and we have a country with a very rich chess history, Ukraine, with 589 total title players, 93 of whom are grandmasters, and an average top 10 rating of 26.63. Although Ukraine doesn't have any super GMs currently, their top rated player is Anton Korobov, and their current number 4 player is arguably their most famous of all time, Vasily Ivanchuk, who in the opinion of many is one of the greatest chess players never to become world champion. Ranking in at number 4 is India, with 408 total title players, 64 of whom are grandmasters, and an average top 10 rating of 26.68. India currently has 3 super GMs, Pentala Harikrishna, Vidit Gujrathi, and their number 1, hands down most famous player of all time, Vishwanathan Anand, former world champion. Moving on to number 3, we have a country that's increased a lot in strength over the past years, China, who despite only having 181 total title players and 48 grandmasters, has an average rating amongst their top 10 players of 27.05, meaning the average strength of one of their top 10 players is a super grandmaster, of which they have 5, Hu Zhangji, Yu Yangyi, Wei Yi, Wang Hao, and of course, Ding Liren, currently ranked number 3 in the world and potentially another world champion candidate. Moving into the top 2, we have the world powers of chess. And the number 2 overall chess country in the world is the US of A, with 828 total title players, 101 grandmasters, and an average top 10 rating of 27.15. Now the US has 5 super grandmasters, youngster Jeffrey Jiang, and the other top 4 consisting of veterans Hikaru Nakamura, Leonard Dominguez Perez, Wesley So, and of course the number 2 ranked player in the world, Fabiano Caruana. Now, if you know anything about chess history, the number 1 country in the world really should come as no surprise. It is, of course, Russia. With 9 out of the 16 official world champions coming from Russia or the former Soviet Union. Currently, Russia has 2,641 total title players, 256 of whom are Grandmasters, and an average top 10 rating of 2739, with their top 10 consisting of Kirill Alexenko, Danil Dubov, Evgeny Tomashevsky, Vladislav Artemyev, Nikita Vitugov, Peter Svidler, Dmitry Andreikin, Sergei Karyakin, Alexander Grishuk, and Yan Nepomniachtchi. I didn't have to list them all. I'm just flexing the fact that I can pronounce their names correctly. Now, all 10 of these players are currently ranked in the top 40 active chess players in the world, giving them a very strong presence on the highest stage, with their number 1, Yan Nepomniachtchi, being the number 5 ranked player in the world and another potential world champion candidate. Now, I hope that kind of gives you an idea of the top 10 chess countries. Obviously, there's a lot of very strong chess countries that didn't make the list, such as Norway, where the current world champion hails from. But this is, of course, the top overall nations based on the combined strength of their top players. And if you actually want to check out the full list, I'm going to link that below in the description. So I hope this video has been informative, and let me know where your country ranks amongst the elites of the world.